Tell that nigga, tell Floyd to get on live. Tell him show where he at. You owe them people over in Dubai that money. Tell him get on live right now. And he owe people in Saudi Arabia money too. Broke ass nigga.
But let's talk about the inconsistencies, the penalties, the millions of dollars. I do not understand it. We should have a commission, okay, that oversees everything, every
metabolite. So there's no worry whatsoever that he was using it to cheat.
Nope.
Yeah, that's all it is. So in his situation, it's really ridiculous.
It's over. The World Boxing Association has just seized Gervonta Davis's boxing license, and he's going nuts. This came after Gervonta Davis's recent ninth-round controversy in his highly anticipated bout with Lamont Roach. This lightweight clash resulted in a majority draw, which came with more backlash than expected, and the WBA had no choice but to investigate this fight further. As a result, Tank's kissing his boxing license goodbye.
Something to be considered. And we'll see what exactly it is in order to protect the health of the body. So at the same time, there's not one thing. But that's one issue I would like to discuss during this convention as well. That's something that's a topic that they have been talking about it, different organizations.
Now, if you thought Tank was just going to take this L quietly, think again. Gervonta Davis is straight up losing it at WBA President Gilberto Mendoza after the organization hit him with a brutal punishment.
Even without the knee, that should have been a knockdown. I thought I should have won a competitive fight. I think I did what I needed to do necessary to bank the rounds. I'm just a little frustrated with the scorecards. I thought I should have won.
On a heated Instagram live stream, Gervonta went off on Mendoza and the WBA, calling them out for everything he's done for the organization. I made y'all. Y'all wouldn't even be eating like this without me. I put asses in seats. I made y'all belts mean something, and this is how you repay me? He was pissed, and you could see the frustration bubbling up as he started pacing back and forth, slamming his phone on the table mid-rant. Classic Gervonta style.
Them niggas cannot touch me at all. They all been in the ring.
But here's where it gets wild. Tank was so heated, he damn near had a breakdown on camera. This isn't just a belt on the line. His whole career is hanging by a thread. And as if that wasn't enough, he tried playing it off like it didn't even matter, telling his fans that he was planning on retiring anyway.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out of, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on?
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning. And you know, like, you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, you know. But I didn't really know that you can, like, get disqualified for all that. Or, like, when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
Get this. We've seen this move before. That's the classic I quit before they fire me type of talk. But deep down, he knows this ain't over. And if we know Gervonta, he's not gonna let this slide.
Cards. Judge at the ringside, Eric Marlinsky scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scored about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
Now let's talk about the moment that set this whole firestorm off. The ninth-round controversy that had the boxing world on the edge of their seats. Because if Steve Willis had done his damn job right, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
You know, obviously the part with the grease in the eye, that took on a life of its own, you know what I'm saying? That was a headline in the fight. I guess one is, what did you think when he said that initially, just like the grease in the eye? But two is like, when you was in the fight, was there any point that you saw that? Like, did you see like him kind of messing with his eye, or did you have any indication that that was something that was bothering him?
No, see, and that's the thing. If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes before
you jabbed him.
Before I jabbed him. Even that right hand that, like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of landed, he kind of rolled with it. But after that, you can see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you can see him wipe his other eye. So it's like it was corresponding to which hand that I punched him with and exactly which eye. So it's like crazy for him to say it's grease in my eye. And I think even when he say that, you could see me, because I'm right beside him, you can see me like, nigga, what you talking about? So,
but you say you don't think he willing though.
Whatever. See, but who cares? Like, sweat gonna get in your eye, blood gonna get in your eye.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Spit fuck around and get in your eye. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like you can be like, all right, time out, ref. Hold on, ref.
No time out.
You can't do that.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next fight.
Right.
No.
Pops, it's a no?
Hell no.
Yeah, fuck that nigga.
Yeah.
You know how many
put Coach Ben on him, man. He lucky he ain't running Coach Ben after that fight.
But look how many times he fucked the fight up though. The knee, him going to the corner to get assistance, like who knows? Not saying that they did any cheating shit or nothing like that. But like he wiped his face with a towel. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do none of that.
Right.
That's a disqualification. You turned your back on the ref after you took a knee. Usually the ref gonna be like, all right, he don't want to fight no more. Fight's off.
So here's what went down. In the 9th round, Gervonta Davis took a clean jab from Lamont Roach Jr. And what did he do? He took a knee. That's right, he voluntarily dropped. Now, in any other fight, that's a clear knockdown. No debate.
No, well, honestly, I haven't watched the fight. We had a show that night. I haven't watched the full fight. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, oh, that he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner. I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning. But it's a bit of a bizarre situation. For me, like, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight. Like, Lamont Roach is a serious fighter. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me, like, even the day before, I'm telling you, he's going to have big trouble tomorrow night. And I just feel like hopefully this could be the little something that gives Gervonta a little wake-up call to take him back to the mindset of maybe where he was.
But for some reason, Steve Willis, who, let's be real, had been favoring Tank all night, waved it off like it never happened. No count, no warning, nothing. And because of that one call, the fight ended in a controversial draw instead of a clear win for Roach. Lamont's attorney wasn't about to let this slide. He immediately filed an official complaint with the New York State Athletic Commission, arguing that Willis had blatantly ignored the rules and showed bias toward Gervonta.
The New York State Athletic Commission makes a statement yesterday that they're going to be reviewing Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach, 9th round, knockdown, not a knockdown, whatever, to see what the final ruling on their part is going to be. New York State Athletic Commission has been busy. The Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia shit, now Tank Davis, Lamont Roach. We'll see what they decide in this situation. I think ultimately, with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, they made the correct decision, overturning Ryan Garcia's victory. We'll see what they decide here with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. Me, myself, personally, I think that it's a very tricky situation. And it deserves a full video, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get all my thoughts out in this video. But I do want to ask everyone watching this video, what do you think? Do you think they should overturn the decision and award Lamont Roach the victory? Do you think because of all the controversy, they should throw the draw out and declare the no contest? Do you think they should do nothing? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'll give mine in another video, but New York State Athletic Commission reviewing the Tank Davis Lamont Roach 9th round controversy. Let me know your thoughts. See you soon. Peace.
And guess what? NYSAC actually agreed that things weren't handled properly. They admitted that multiple issues went down during the fight, but the biggest one? That 9th round moment.
This is my opinion. Sure. It was a great fight. It was a close fight. Depending on what they do with that decision of taking the knee, depending if the commission reverses the decision, or I think a draw was meant to be. So I like the draw. No, if you take the knee, man, if you take a knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking a point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little, because he loves Tank. He loves New York. He loves the big lights. The referee with the eyes, he's like, a point should be deducted if you take a knee. It's a fact. It's in the rule book, right? The fact that they didn't take it away, then that's where the controversy is, right? It's not, look, did Gervonta get hit? Was he dazed? Who knows? Only he knows. But what I saw, when you take a knee, that's an automatic point. That's just the rule. This is not basketball. This is not, this is not basketball where, wait, hold on, my ankle hurts. Hold on, let me take a timeout. You don't take timeouts in boxing. It just doesn't happen. Whether he had something in his eye or not, you have to fight. There's 3 minutes to fight. So if you take a knee, if you go to your corner, the rules are the rules. And I don't know what New York is gonna settle on, but the rules are the rules.
See, here's where it gets even messier. NYSAC revealed that there was a so-called technical issue that stopped them from accessing replay footage in real time. In today's age, where we can see replays in 4K slow-mo within seconds, you're telling me a professional commission couldn't get access to the footage? Sounds sketchy as hell.
If that was kind of a knockdown, I would win the majority decision. Honestly, I thought I should have won without that, but the rules do state if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic A game.
And get this, even after acknowledging that the fight wasn't officiated properly, NYSAC still didn't overturn the draw. That's right, and that decision caused massive backlash from fans, fighters, and boxing experts alike. People were calling it one of the biggest screw-ups in recent boxing history.
Did you get your hair done 2 days before the fight?
Yeah. I ran water over it today, but I must say do it enough.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on?
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning, and you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than But I didn't really know that you can get disqualified for all that. Or when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
And guess who had to step in and clean up the mess? The WBA? With the heat on NYSAC reaching an all-time high, the World Boxing Association had no choice but to take matters into their own hands. They decided to seize Gervonta's boxing license, sending a clear message that this whole controversy wasn't going to be ignored.
The rules that he didn't get hit with a punch. He didn't turn his back like he wanted to quit. It's just like when you get a thumb in the eye, it's a foul.
He did turn his eye. He did turn his back.
But he didn't turn his back like he was going to quit. Like you've seen some guys turn it. He obviously mentioned that he had something in his eye, and it wasn't from a punch. It was time in between the shots. I think that by the time he wanted that, or he took a knee. But I think in the rules it states that you're allowed to do that. If you go back and you read some of the rules, I know a lot of people are complaining about it, but I think it was upheld in New York that it was okay for him to do that. I think part of the rules state that it was okay. As a coach on the other side, I would have.
Yeah. Of course, right? Of course.
I would have thrown a fit, man.
And just when people thought the WBA was bluffing, Gilberto Mendoza made it crystal clear. He's not afraid to go after the biggest names in boxing to keep the sport fair. In a shocking statement, Mendoza revealed that he's ready to take action against any fighter, no matter how famous, if it means cleaning up the game. And guess what? He's already proven he's not playing around. Just look at what happened with Ryan Garcia. When Ryan got hit with that massive suspension for testing positive for a banned substance after the Devin Haney fight, Mendoza and the WBA didn't hesitate to take action. They hit him with a brutal one-year ban and stripped him of his ranking, sending a message that no one is above the rules, not even one of the biggest social media stars in boxing.
What do you think about Ryan Garcia's PED thing? Why would he take that small of a dose of a steroid or whatever it is on the week of the fight? Because the only test he popped for was the one the day before the fight. You wouldn't just start taking a steroid on fight week. He's guilty, but it is weird.
And now, Gervonta Davis is feeling that same heat. With his boxing license seized and his reputation on the line, Tank is facing the harsh reality that the WBA is done letting star power dictate the sport. Mendoza's mission is simple. If you break the rules, you pay the price. And right now, it's looking like Tank's paying in full.
Man, he got lucky at the draw. He did a good fight, though. I thought he won it, but man, you gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned. But god damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
Now that Gervonta Davis is in the hot seat, he's doing what a lot of fighters do when their back's against the wall. He's downplaying the situation. Instead of addressing the real issue, his boxing license being seized, Tank is out here acting like he was gonna retire anyway.
Why are you retiring?
What changed?
What made this shit trash, garbage?
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD, who will be?
Gervonta, something should have happened during this time, because when I saw you at the Frank Martin press conference, it looked like you were like the talks about retirement was not even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done through boxing since you were a kid and everything? Where's Calvin Ford? Is Calvin Ford and Leonard Edelby usually they're around to?
You think you might be gaining love for it though? You never know. Like say you got a swap today.
Let's be real. This is a huge hit to his pride. If there was any shady business going on between him and referee Steve Willis, then Tank has no business stepping back into the ring. But instead of owning up to the controversy, he's flipping the narrative, reminding everyone that he's been teasing retirement for a while now.
That's why I don't want to box anymore. I want to do therapy, right? But I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me where so I don't never think about fighting again. I don't think about even getting angry, you know what I mean? Because I have two daughters. I'm wanting to be much softer, you know what I mean? Be more humble and things like that.
And he's not lying about that part. Tank had been dropping hints about retirement for months.
25 is at the next year, I'm out of it.
After our second fight.
You're out of it?
Yeah.
Care to elaborate on that?
Out of the sport.
After our second fight. Nah, no, I'm gonna win, bro.
Nah, I could tell you my fights.
During the face-offs with Lamont Roach, he even announced that 2025 would be the year he officially hangs up the gloves. At the time, it seemed like he was leaving on his terms, like a king stepping away from his throne. But guess what? The outcome of this fight changed everything. That draw completely shattered his perfect record, and that's something no fighter, especially someone like Gervonta, can just walk away from. A rematch became inevitable. Fans, analysts, even casuals, everyone thought Lamont had that win in the bag. So when the judges ruled it a draw, the boxing world erupted, calling for them to run it back.
Pues ahora sí que dieron una gran pelea, ahora sí que me sorprendió la pelea que dio Loma Roach y bueno, fue una gran pelea para toda la aficionada.
¿Tú crees que fue un empate?
No, yo creo que no, creo que le quedó una de ver la caída a Loma Roach, pero bueno, decisión de los jueces y del referee que no le hizo válida la caída, no le hizo el conteo.
¿Qué le fue mal en esta pelea para Gervonta? ¿Qué fue lo que no hizo para que los jueces le den esta pelea? ¿Tú qué piensas?
Bueno, él nada más apostó a un solo round, a un solo golpe para poderlo noquear y el cual Loma venía muy bien preparado, muy bien concentrado en el plan de trabajo. Bueno, creo que a Tank le faltó presionar, tirar más golpes para ser más contundente y que se viera más efectivo a la hora de la victoria.
¿Te gustaría ver una revancha entre ellos?
Pues estaría muy agradable, ahora sí que la primera estuvo muy buena, yo creo que la segunda también.
It was a close fight.
Lamont fought? I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It was an opportunity of a lifetime. He did a good job. He fought a great fight.
What went wrong with Tank Davis? I mean, I was
what was wrong with him? Every night in boxing is not your best, you feel me? But at least you got the draw.
Would you like to see a rematch of this or jump into a fight with Shakur Stevenson?
Whatever they want to do. You think it was a draw? I don't know. I thought it was a good fight.
Appreciate it,
Shakur, did you think it was a draw? No. I thought Lamont won. Who you thought won? Lamont.
You thought Lamont won? By how many rounds?
I don't know. You still want the Tank Davis fight? You said what? You still want the Tank Davis fight?
What went wrong? What went wrong?
Take out a little steam or fire out of it, or is it still the same? I mean, we're going to see. I'm the best fighter in boxing. I've been saying this, so.
Shakur, what went wrong for Gervonta in this fight? Just because, could we say maybe because Lamont didn't come in really?
I think he got overconfident. I think he was thinking Lamont wasn't that good. I told everybody how the fight was going to go. The fight went exactly how I said. Exactly.
After seeing this performance from Gervonta, do you believe your confidence has gone a little bit more up?
My confidence has been up. I've been knew I was the best.
What's your worst Keyshawn? He just won his first title.
And here's the thing, Tank knows that. If he walks away now, he leaves behind a legacy with a giant question mark. That's why this whole "I was retiring anyway" act feels like damage control. Because deep down, Tank knows he can't leave the sport like this. The only way out? A rematch and a chance to take back what's his. This whole situation is getting crazier by the minute. From the 9th round controversy to Gervonta losing his boxing license to Tank suddenly playing the retirement card, boxing hasn't seen this level of chaos in a long time. And let's be real, this ain't just about a bad call in a fight anymore. This is about the integrity of the sport. With the WBA stepping in and Gilberto Mendoza cracking down on the biggest stars in the game, this could be a major turning point for boxing. If Tank really was involved in some shady business with Steve Willis, then he's got no choice but to face the consequences. But if this was just an unfortunate mistake, then he needs to step up, take the rematch, and prove he's still the best. Either way, the boxing world is watching. So, what do y'all think? Was the draw legit, or was Lamont Roach robbed? And do you think Tank is really retiring, or is this just an excuse to dodge the rematch? Let me know in the comments below, and if you're hyped for more updates, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what happens next. I'll see you in the next one.